There's an expression that I like to say. When you're hysterical, it's likely that it's historical. If you are overreacting to something in the present and being triggered by it, it's likely that it's touching an old wound, or it's touching something deep inside of you that's getting reactivated. In this video, I'm going to show you how to identify your emotional triggers and what you can do about them, including how to apply meridian tapping to evolve and release the strong reaction that you have in the moment when you're triggered, and ultimately enable you to heal some deeper wounding that might be coming up in the moment. Hi, I'm Maria LaPuma, the founder and creator of Body Confidence Solutions, where I help health-conscious women overcome their challenges with food, weight, and body image in order to experience personal growth, peace, and success. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you like this kind of content, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube page. Again, thanks for joining me. So, emotional triggers are strong reactions that we have to life circumstances. And oftentimes the people closest to us can trigger us in ways that nobody else can do so. So I feel that very strongly that this is sort of like grist for the mill. It's an opportunity to explore what's really going on a deeper level. And I understand that our personal growth is the most empowering thing that we can do in this lifetime, is to really know ourselves more fully and to evolve our energy so that we can be empowered to be responsive in life's situations. So when we're triggered, it's likely that an old wound has been touched. You know, there's an expression, when you throw salt on a person, it only hurts where the wounds are. And oftentimes in our relationships with our significant others or our family members, those wounds can go deep. We often are attracted to someone initially, and then as we spend time with that person, we start to experience some strong emotional reactions to their behaviors, to their words, to the way they interact with us. I remember when I was first married to my present husband. We're married about 9 years, and we would trigger, and then there's a counter trigger. And so something would get triggered, he'd say or do something, and I'd get triggered, and I'd get defensive and reactive, and then he would get triggered, and there we were triggering each other. And I realized that it was sort of like our 5-year-olds were coming out and fighting. Our 5-year-olds were scared. Our 5-year-olds were feeling threatened. Our 5-year-olds were being angered. And so 2 5-year-olds dressed in adult clothing were sort of fighting with each other. And it wasn't really going anywhere. It was actually hurting us even more. We were wounding each other even more because we were in that reaction. We were saying things that were hurtful. And at another point in time, we probably would have wished we had never said that before. So I learned to do this early on in my relationship with my husband, because I knew that that kind of going forward, the relationship would not last at all. And it really wasn't getting us to a place of being closer and more intimate with each other. And so oftentimes our closest relationships will force us to not only become more intimate with others, but it forces us to become more intimate within ourselves. I like that expression, into me I see, intimacy. So to see yourself more fully is really part of the journey of life, is to become more intimate with yourself. And our partners can reflect aspects of ourselves that sometimes we're not willing to look at or we're not comfortable looking at. And that's why we can go into blame or judgment or strong reactive behavior. However, it doesn't bring more closeness in the relationship, and ultimately it doesn't bring more peace within you. So I learned how to use tapping to release the reactive behavior and allow it to evolve and embrace the emotions that were coming up in the moment, and ultimately to find a way to go in deeper and find those younger parts of myself that were really wounded and they were sort of showing up in the present situation. So first, to identify your emotional triggers is essential. You might be well aware that there are certain circumstances in your life or people in your life that trigger you. And you might have even said, well, these people are not good for me, and you draw a boundary. I'm going to offer you, though, a different perspective in that you can look at these triggering relationships with a sense of curiosity and compassion. And if you ultimately heal that part of you that's getting triggered, there's no need to draw a strong boundary. I mean, maybe, an appropriate boundary would be right, but sometimes people say, oh, I can't see that person because they trigger this in me. But I'm offering a situation where the trigger can actually be a way in to heal something deeper in you, and then that person's behavior will no longer have the power to evoke a certain reaction in you. So identifying people, circumstances, situations in your life that are triggering for you. And if it's your significant other, it might not be always that they're triggering, but there might be certain things that happen in the relationship that feel a little triggering for you. Or maybe there was a time where he or she said or did something that you felt hurt. And so when we are emotionally triggered, a lot of times our immediate reaction is to get defensive, to react with anger, to push that person away, to shut that person down, walk away. When we are triggered, we go into a stress response, a fight, flight, freeze response. So some of us want to fight, and we fight with our words, or some people even fight physically. Some of us freeze, we shut down, and we go into ourselves, and we sort of numb out. We don't respond or react at all. And some of us flee. I know for me, if somebody touches me in certain areas emotionally that are deep wounding, my first reaction is, I'm out of here. I want to run from the relationship. I have all the reasons why this relationship is not good for me, and I'm ready to bolt, because it's touching something deep inside of me that has not been embraced, has not been evolved, and it feels too painful and too hurtful to go there. So that's often our reaction to being triggered, fight, flight, or freeze. Those of us that have issues with addictive behaviors, sometimes when we're triggered, we might turn to the substance or the activity that has made us feel better in the moment. So for instance, a dynamic could happen between you and your partner, and you might feel angry or hurt or sad or whatever. And rather than really feeling the feelings, you sort of dive into a bag of cookies, or you open up a bottle of wine, or you get on the internet and you start shopping. You're avoiding the feelings that are coming up in that situation. So it doesn't give you an opportunity to evolve. It doesn't give you an opportunity to shift the relationship. It doesn't give you an opportunity to even have a healthy adult communication about the dynamics in the relationship. It's sort of an avoidance way of not addressing it and maybe hoping that it would go away in some way. So, in my experience with healing with my own addictive behaviors and working with many, many clients in these areas, I know that the substance, the object of our addiction, is just the tip of the iceberg. It's typically the relationship triggers and reactive behaviors that are the things that are sort of driving the addictive behaviors. And so getting in touch with those relationships that need to be healed, whether that's with another person or within ourselves, and allowing ourselves to embrace and feel and heal the emotions is what's necessary in order to ultimately be free of the addictive behavior as well. So let's get on to how you can identify what your triggers are and how you react to them. I want to encourage you to clothe this in a blanket of curiosity and compassion and acceptance. If you are reacting in a relationship, you want to have some compassion for yourself and have some curiosity for yourself. Not beat yourself up, not blame yourself. Because like I said before, if we have a strong reaction in the present, it's likely that it's touching on some unresolved history. And the only way to start addressing it is to embrace where you're at with it so that you can go a little deeper into getting to the core of what's really coming up in the moment. So you can go ahead and get a pen or pencil and a piece of paper, and we're going to do some tapping to identify a triggering relationship, and I'm going to show you how to apply meridian tapping to evolve it. First off is you can write down the person or the particular behavior of that person that triggers a response in you. And notice a reaction in you, I should say, because when we're triggered, we're reactive, we're not responsive. So for instance, you could say, oh, when my partner looks at me this way, I feel angry, I get defensive, I want to dive into a bag of potato chips, I want to open up a bottle of wine. Look at your reaction in the moment when that situation occurs and notice it. Notice what happens. And so that's the first place of embracing and accepting what you're doing in that reactive mode, because a trigger is a stress response. And when we're in a stress response, the brain goes into that fight, flight, or freeze. And so we want to accept that we are in a stress response. So that would be the first step. So go ahead and write down the person, the situation that triggers you, and notice the feelings that come up for you when you think about that trigger. How does it make you feel? Are you angry? Are you sad? Or do you want to run? Do you feel like you want to say something really mean and hurtful to that person? Because when we want to hurt someone, it's likely that we've been hurt. You know that expression, hurt people hurt people. So just notice what comes up for you when you think about that situation. And that's the first step in acceptance of the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that are coming up for you when you are reacting to that situation. And this is where we can apply some meridian tapping, because meridian tapping has been shown to calm down the brain, that amygdala, that part of the brain that wants to go into fight, flight, freeze. And not only does it calm it down, and neutralize the reactive behavior, but oftentimes it'll give us some cognitive awareness, some deeper insight as to what is really coming up for us or what is really being triggered. So we first start with acceptance of your reaction to that particular situation. And instead of blaming the other person that he made me or she made me feel, we accept that we're feeling whatever it is that we're feeling and try not to judge it so much. So I'm going to encourage you now to apply modern energy tapping to this particular situation. So think about the last time or a time that this dynamic happened between you and your significant other, or it could be, you can even do this with, your boss or your sibling or your child. Think about a dynamic that was triggering for you. And you can go to a specific time. When we apply tapping, the more specific you can be with a time, the more effective it can be. So go to a specific time, and you can write that down for yourself or just call it to your mind, and notice the feelings that it evokes now or the feelings that it evoked then. Good. And in modern energy tapping, we start with the setup. We bring our hands to our heart. And take a deep breath in and let it go. And when you think about that specific incident, notice how it feels in your body. Notice the thoughts, the feelings, and emotions that arise for you. And again, we're going to embrace, we're going to accept whatever's coming up for you. Release the judgment, release the story, and remember that our emotions are just energy, and energy wants to flow. So call to mind that incident, take a breath in, and let it go. And we'll do a round of tapping. And if you're new to modern energy tapping, I will put a link in the thread below so that you can go to my video, What is Tapping and how to apply it. But you can follow along with me. If you're in a safe and comfortable place, you take responsibility for your own well-being and follow along. Tap the top of the head. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Ease and flow. Release and let go. And tap on the third eye. Breathing in and letting go. And call to mind that incident and allow the thoughts and feelings and emotions that arise flow. Allow them to flow. On the eyebrow, breath in and let it go. Ease and flow, release and let go. And the side of the eye, breathing in and letting go. Ease and flow, release and let go. Underneath the eye, breathing in and letting go. Ease and flow, release and let go. The top of the lip, breathing in and letting go. Ease and flow, release and let go. And allow all those thoughts, feelings, and emotions that arise to flow through you. Energy wants to flow, and just let it flow. Crease of the chin, soften and flow, release and let go. Breathing in and letting go. And then on the collarbone, take another breath in and let it go. Ease and flow, release and let go. And then in modern energy tapping, we tap the finger points, so tapping on the thumb, and close your eyes and call to mind that situation where you felt triggered. Take another breath in and let it go. Notice what comes up for you. And the pointer, and it might bring you back to memories of this same dynamic, maybe with this same person, or maybe in your younger years with someone else. Just allow it all to flow, the thoughts, feelings, and emotions that arise when you think about this dynamic. And the middle finger, ease and flow, release and let go. And the ring finger, breathing in and letting go. And the pinky, take a deep breath in and let it go. Ease and flow, release and let go. And tap the side of the hand, take a deep breath in and let it go. And you can move your shoulders and your head, breathing in and letting go. Bring your attention back to that initial specific situation that you were thinking about. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And as you're looking at that initial situation, just notice if anything changed. You might feel that your reactive emotions have evolved and shifted. You might get a little bit of deeper understanding of the dynamics. You might have brought up some memories of a time when you were younger and that same dynamic occurred. Oftentimes, if we have similar dynamics occurring in the present that trigger us strongly, it's likely that there is a inner child, a child in us that has been wounded in that particular area. And it's a very similar dynamic that's occurring in the present that is evoking that strong emotion from the past. So the way to address that, if you have a memory of your younger self coming up, is to basically take a look at that younger child, that younger little girl in you or that little boy in you that is surfacing or feeling wounded or hurt. And you can just tap the side of your side of your hand. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And see if a younger memory comes up of similar thoughts, feelings, and emotions that got evoked in this present trigger. And it might be something that came up a few weeks ago, or it could go all the way back to your childhood. And nice and easy, you're going to just look at that part of you, that younger part of you that maybe felt hurt or angry or dismissed in some way. And as you're observing her or him, you're going to just send it some love and some compassion. So you're going to do some modern energy tapping. It's also like surrogate tapping. You're sending your love and compassion to that part of you, that inner part of you that's been wounded. Just sending love and compassion. Take a deep breath in and let it go. And you can do a round of tapping here, sending more love and compassion to that younger part of you that needs some assistance on the third eye. Or what else is it that he or she needs to feel safe, to feel secure? Give it a voice, allow it to express its feelings, its emotions on the eyebrow. And if you like, you can even walk into that picture as an adult now and hold that little person and let them know that you love them, the side of the eye, and that whatever they're going through, it's okay. You can embrace them, all of them, and know that as you do this, you can heal that part of you that has been wounded and is reacting in the present. Underneath the eye, take a deep breath in and let it go. This might evoke some strong emotion for you as you're contacting with these younger parts of yourself. Just allow it all to flow. You're bringing in the love. Top of the lip, compassion and love. That's the elixir, that's the healing medicine. So take a breath in and let it go. Increase of the chin. Even more love and compassion for those aspects of you that are in pain. On the collarbone, take a deep breath in and let it go. Breathing in and letting go on the thumb point. And what else is it that we could send that younger part of you? On the pointer, go ahead and ask her or him what it is that he or she needs to feel even better. What needs to happen? What needs to be said or done? And the middle finger, and you can go ahead and evolve that experience into anything that would allow your younger self to feel more evolved and more released and more whole. And the ring finger, when we step into the energy field, into the matrix, we can evolve the energy, evolve the emotion, evolve the experience into something that's more aligned with what's right, what's true, what's just. On the pinky, take a deep breath in and let it go. And tap the side of the hand and take a deep breath in and let it go. And embrace that part of you that felt wounded with love and compassion. Bring your hands to your heart. Take a deep breath in and let it go. At this point, you can go back to the original trigger and notice if anything has shifted or changed. If you're still feeling a strong reaction to it, you can go ahead and repeat those processes that I just offered. And it may take a few times to go to those younger parts of you that are wounded and wanting some healing. If you are feeling like you want some support with this, I do this kind of work with my clients all the time, and it really is very effective in enabling one to be more responsive rather than reactive in the moment. So go back now to the original trigger, and what would be the response, the adult response to this trigger? If you felt like initially you would run to some addictive behavior, and once you've evolved your energy, giving voice to your emotion may be what is needed to respond to this. And of course, if it's a strong, hurtful reaction, you want to evolve that enough so that you can go back to the present situation with the present person and maybe have a conversation coming from love, coming from compassion, coming from curiosity, rather than blame and anger and pointing fingers. So if you have any questions about this process, I'd be happy to offer you some further guidance. This is a toe in to really healing in the matrix and healing aspects of yourself that may be showing up in your present life that need some assistance and help, so that ultimately you can be more responsive in your behaviors and less reactive. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. Again, if you like this kind of content, go ahead and subscribe to my page. I will be adding new videos every week. And until next time, I wish you all the best. Much love. Bye now.